This is actually a lot of work. Being interested in somebody you actually don't care about is exhausting. It really is. Put that time and that effort into asking something simple like, did you eat today? They'll appreciate that type of stuff. Was work hard today, baby? I wish I could rub your back.
This young lady is one of the many sugar baby coaches that you'll find on the internet. And what's very interesting about what she's saying is that she's essentially telling young ladies that if you are good at being feminine and putting on the act of love, you can make a lot of money doing it.
Make sure when you meet them in person, you laugh with them, even if you find them not funny. You laugh, baby. You touch them on the shoulder, rub their backs periodically. When they give you a hug, squeeze just a little bit tight. Air kiss them. When you give them a hug, like pretend this is their face. They like little stuff like that and they'll appreciate it, trust me.
If you look at her channel, she has a relatively modest sized channel. I think she has 50,000 subscribers. But what's interesting is that this video spiked. And when it spiked was very interesting to me because there was something that was happening all the way around the world 3 years ago. And that reminded me of an old friend.
But the Autobot scientist Perceptor is ready for anything. Introducing Perceptor. From a working microscope, he transforms into a robot.
If I were reincarnated as an Autobot, I would most likely come back as Perceptor. He's the Autobot, the transformer that I identify with the most. Imagine a transformer that becomes a microscope. I remember waiting with bated breath for this toy on Christmas because I wanted to not just get the toy, but I wanted to play with it as a microscope. On top of all of that, he was a geeky, scientific, socially awkward character. So much so that even Optimus Prime got on him about it.
Well, anything's worth a try with some modifications to the propulsion core.
Perceptor, just do it.
I thought to myself, if I were Perceptor, and I saw this human behavior, how would I analyze it?
What I do when I go on first dates is that I choose the most expensive restaurant that I could possibly think of, the most bougiest, classiest restaurant.
Very interesting.
What is it?
What is what?
Your diagnosis.
Run that bill up $1,000 plus. If he can pay $1,000 for a dinner, you hit the jackpot. Get a steak, get a lobster, get drinks after drinks after drinks. And baby, you don't drink those drinks. No, you don't drink them. You pretend like you drink them. This is business.
Morphobots. I'm certain of it.
And me, when I go on the dates with the SD, I'm not me. It's like role playing. It's amazing. I'm a whole new person. It's so much fun. And lastly, if you're gonna feel sorry for these people, then I'm sorry. You can't be a baby. You are not using them. You are not scamming them. You're not even really finessing them. At the end of the day, they're gonna be paying you for your time. And your time is very much so valuable. They're paying you for your time, your energy, your love, your affection. That's what they're paying for.
Morphobots? I thought they were extinct.
As did I.
Concurrent with the events that transpired worldwide in 2020 and 2021 was an uptick in interest in sugaring and women looking for sugar daddies. This makes for a very peculiar question: why sugaring, and why in that particular time period? This Mirror article from January 2022 details Dash Priestley. Sugar daddies pay for my diamonds and Porsche, now I coach other sugar babies. She lives a life of luxury to sugar daddies who spoil her rotten, but she's retired from the sugar baby life after saving the money to set up her own business. She refers to herself as a show-off piece. Older men like to wine and dine on expensive holidays and exclusive events with no strings attached. She explained, as a sugar baby, you are arm candy. It is mostly older men who want company to attend dinners, holidays, or even just chat. A lot of people assume sex is involved, but this isn't a factor whatsoever. This shows that she was able to start her first business at 22, and she insists that she's never traded sex for money. But since dating sugar daddies, the entrepreneur has managed to set up 5 businesses which have allowed her to retire from sugar baby life. Now she coaches other young women in how to become sugar babies, sharing her knowledge to help them become as successful as she is. I have had my bills paid and showered in gifts such as Chanel and Yves Saint Laurent handbags, along with diamond necklaces and other designer clothes, she said. Most of the time, the men just want companionship. They just want someone to speak to. I used to take the time to get to know their emotional side without being too nosy. Describing her work as an emotional game, she said she likes to find out what's missing in the lives of her sugar daddies so she can help fill a gap. When she was working as a sugar baby, Dash's minimum monthly allowance was £2,950, $4,000, with shopping sprees and fancy meals paid on top of that.
Very interesting. What is it?
When I revisit the conversation around the refuse to go on a first date list, especially in the eve of a new interest in sugaring, the natural question that comes to mind is, how much has sugaring played a part in the new way that people are dating? And what I'm beginning to see is that more and more guys are seeing it as a transaction in a way that they just don't want to play. They're just dropping out. This is a TikTok from the Prodigal Son 3.2, and he's one of my favorite TikTokers, really, because I see myself in him. If I were born 20 years later, I would probably be him. Listen to his experience.
What is the real reason that you've given up on dating altogether or haven't?
I got tired. I got tired of trying to prove myself and prove my worth to someone when at the end of the day they made up in their mind they didn't want to be with me. I got tired of spreading myself too thin by trying to keep this person happy. I got tired of expressing how I felt and communicating, all for it to be thrown in my face. I got tired of my past being weaponized and used against me.
One of the running things that you see when you see sugar baby coaches coaching younger ladies to be soon to be sugar babies is that there's a lot of talk about pretending to be what he wants, to put on an act, to be a certain kind of person that will make that person spend money on you. But what happens if you go from that to it being a style of dating, and instead of learning how to relate to another person, it's, I'm going to treat you like a prospective sugar daddy. And so I'm going to give you what you want in small doses, but if I'm not getting what I want, then I just go back to someone who's basically not acclimated to being in a relationship, because that's what I'm hearing in this young brother here.
More or less, I just got tired of being not appreciated, even when I was showing that I was more than capable of doing the things that I said I would do. And by putting forth my words with action, I just got tired of it all. I am tired. I don't think I'll ever find somebody. But hey, maybe that's the way it goes. That's why I opted out of dating.
I fear that those are fatal.
When I see a gentleman like this struggling in the dating market, I can only wonder how much of an effect has the sugaring culture had on just regular dating. Is he running into a lot of dates of young ladies who are trying to turn him into a sugar daddy instead of emotionally connecting with the guy and trying to establish some kind of relationship? Because when you hear him talk about the kind of emotional issues he's running into, they suggest that many of the people that he's dating maybe just don't have the emotional ability to build a strong emotional connection with a guy. And this speaks to the fact that many of the people he may be dating just aren't having long, drawn out, stable, emotionally healthy relationships. Instead, they're participating in a relationship market that might be closer to sugaring. And that's why I think the list is so important, because it's a symptom of the fact that if there are a large group of young ladies who are making a big deal not out of how the date went, but where you took them on the date, then that itself is an expression of the fact that dating has been changed to a point where it's closer to sugaring than it ever has been before. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.